Good evening, everyone. Am I being heard? Can someone confirm, please? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Good evening,
Okay.
please.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Didi. Good evening, everyone, and welcome
Good
to
evening,
class.
everybody.
I think we're supposed to be close to 8,000 on this call, and we have just 49. So I don't know if we can reach out to our party members. Yes, please reach out to them on your WhatsApp groups to let them know. In case they have forgotten, remind them that it's time and we'll get started. I think we're going to get started in the next 5 minutes. At exactly 5:05, the class will begin. So please, let's reach out to them. Thank you. Okay, so it's time. Good evening, everyone. Good evening once again, and welcome to class. For those who are not joining this call, I don't know, are not on this call in this class. I don't know what the problem is, but I think we are supposed to have more than 98 students in this class, but notwithstanding, we're going to continue. So today we're going to be talking about an interesting, but at the same time, very, very fundamental topic, psychology of politics, the myths and the realities. What is it you know about politics? What have you always believed politics is about, right? I know that we have so many opinions, so many things we've learned about politics, but today we're going to find out what are those myths, what actually are the realities of politics. And of course, nobody else to do this with us this evening, someone who doesn't need any introduction. We're used to him already. Edie, with a warm round of applause from wherever we are, please let's welcome our Executive Director, Mr. Kunle Lawal. Edie, you have the floor, sir. Edie, are you there?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, peace. Good evening, everyone. Surprising the class is small. I don't know how many times we've had to reiterate this. Um, I don't know what's going on my slide. What are you seeing?
Okay, it's screen sharing. It has not come up. So it's just showing that you're trying to
Hasn't?
share your screen.
Okay.
It's up now.
Okay, okay, it's up now. Psychology of politics, right?
Yes, yes, it is.
Is it up?
Yes, it is. The psychology of
Okay,
politics.
thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the class, Psychology of Politics, Myths and Realities. Now, I'm sure most people do not think there's psychology to politics. I'd like to ask a general question, and I hope this goes well. You just write in chat box. I'll try to read what you have to say. So, it's a direct question. Do you believe there's psychology of politics in play in Nigeria and is being adopted via strategy and etc., or you think there's none? You know what? Please let's make this better. We'll allow three people talk about this. So let them raise up their hand and let's see whether we can have a conversation on this part on this particular matter. So three people should psychology of politics in use in Nigeria, or you don't.
Okay, we have three already. The first three, we have Wisdom first. Wisdom, you can unmute and speak.
Good evening, ED.
Good
Well, I
evening,
think
Wisdom. How are
there's,
you?
I'm very fine, sir. I think there's psychology of politics at play in Nigeria, and I'll be quick so that the next person can talk. I feel that, especially these elections today, when Peter Obi said, since the Labour Party is not on the ballot, people can vote the ADC. Now, I see psychology at play whereby people do not even know the candidate of the ADC in their various states or federal constituencies. But because Obi said vote for ADC, those who like Obi will just automatically vote for the ADC because Obi had said it, and not because they feel that the ADC's candidates are more competent than that of the APC and other parties. So this is one way I think political psychologists are playing Nigeria.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very
Daniel.
much. Thank you very much.
Daniel AC, you can unmute and ask your question.
Oh, thank you. Good evening. Yeah, I believe that.
Good evening, Daniel.
Thank you so much, sir. Good evening, sir. Politics has to do with psychology, because psychology has to do with the mind, and in the mind, you find the will, you find the intellect, you find the emotions. So, if you appeal to the animal in man, which is tied more to his emotions, baser, his baser levels or essences, you get what you want, which, of course, most people at the emotional level tend to be irrational. I'm just going in that direction. So if you appeal to the tribal instinct in a man or religious bias in a man or one bias or the other, and tell him this is our thing, close your eyes and vote in any direction, you get him. So I believe that there's psychology in politics based on the mind games that are played. Yeah, it's just programming. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so Adeshola Odunlade, you can unmute
All
and
right.
speak.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening,
I
Adeshola.
am of the opinion that there is
I think he's having a
psychology
challenge.
in
Okay.
politics system in Nigeria, and for me, it starts. Hello, am I being
Yeah, we
heard,
can hear
please?
you. Go ahead. Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you. Okay, sir. So I was saying that I believe that there's some psychology in politics in Nigeria, and it's seriously at play. For me, it starts with political indoctrination, such that those who go into politics, one way or the other, how it is done is almost unknown, get indoctrinated into the system so much that their reasoning at every point in time differs from someone who has decided to be objective. The reasoning is political, no matter how good is your intention or whatever you are saying from outside the political circle, they format it into their political reasoning, and that is where they play. So I believe there is political.
Is
Thank
it me,
you.
Peace, or I can't? Okay, thank you very much. Peace. I would allow two more. Since there are two more here, I'll allow two more.
Okay.
So that is Farid. Okay, let me
Yes.
say I'll allow three more. Farid, Chinonso, and Winifred. But you must be
Winifred.
brief and you must be very quick.
Okay. Please, you have 30 seconds to respond. Farid. Um, Farid, please go ahead.
Yes, good evening, Edie. I absolutely believe there is psychology of politics in Nigeria. So the angle I see it in is subconscious programming. So from watching the news to even watching movies and listening to music to programming from your beliefs from your tribe, those kinds of things that can subconsciously affect you without you knowing. So I believe that yes, our politicians use those kinds of things to influence our thoughts. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so Chinonso, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Is it me or I can't hear her?
Chinonso, we can't hear you. I've asked you to unmute, Chinonso.
Okay,
Okay, so you keep on muting yourself. I'll be muting yourself.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. So, yes, I don't believe there is psychology in politics in Nigeria. I think with psychology, you have to understand the mind of the people. I don't think most politicians understand the minds of Nigerians, but they understand their behaviors. So I don't think psychology is at play in politics in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Winifred, the last person, and then we can proceed with the class.
Winifred,
Thank you very much. Thank you. I believe actually in Nigeria, there is a psychology plays a big role in politics in Nigeria. And that is because even the electorates or the politicians themselves are not ruled by ideologies of parties or the institutions or even the manifesto of candidates or aspirants. Instead, their leanings are determined by the religious leaning, tribal leaning. Nobody is looking at what is this person's manifesto. So I believe psychology plays more of the role in Nigerian politics. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. You all answered well. The purpose of this class is to explore this particular conversation. So the psychology of politics, myths, and realities. So first and foremost, what is political psychology? Now, it's the study of how psychological factors influence political behavior. Now, I think the last person who spoke, Winifred, mentioned tribe, and the only reason why tribe and religion is brought in is because you naturally pander to it as Nigerians. Now, I will not say everybody does, but we pander to it as Nigerians that's more people pander to it than more people that don't. So you would see maybe in the last election, somebody will tell you, Emilio come, meaning it is his turn. And it would inspire a drive by a particular tribe. Someone else will tell you a particular tribe has never been president, which is why he should be considered as president, and it will inspire a tribe. Some will bring out a Muslim ticket, and it will inspire a drive. Some will appeal to churches, and it will inspire a drive. Nigeria's politics, the way most people think about it, I'll give you an example, raw example. Preceding the 2023 elections, who can think of any Nigerian song that came out, let's say within 2020 to 2023, you didn't think it had a political undertone, but it did. Can anybody think roughly of any song? Please put all the hands down so that I'll see the new hands that come up. Now, who thinks there was any song that particularly played beyond your particular your thinking? Peace, are you there?
We are here, Edie, if she's not.
But I'm repeating myself. I said put the hand down, and I'm virtually repeating myself. So I'd like to see a new hand up or a set of hands up if you know any particular song that you think inspired political thought subconsciously. Nobody knows. Nobody can think of one.
No hands are up. Okay, one hand.
Wow, Aaron's hand is up. Please just pass him the mic so that he can answer.
Aaron, I've asked you to unmute.
Okay, good evening, Edie.
Good evening, Aaron.
Yes, there's a particular song is majorly here within the North that really took the whole space. And I don't know the title of the song, but the song is like Jagabaya Karbi Kasa, a song like that.
Yes, I know that particular song. Yes, it's okay. But there were more mainstream songs. Let's hear from Abiodun quickly and then Ernest. Please, I want us to do this very quickly.
Okay.
Hello. Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Abiodun.
Yes, sir. I just about that one, the song they're saying, on your mandate we shall stand.
No, that one was part of the campaign. I'm talking of a song that you subconsciously did not know was inspiring your thought process. Let's go to Ernest. Can we have this quickly? Let's have Ernest next.
Ernest.
Okay. Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, this song it was sung in Hausa, but I think it was politically motivated. Yeah, something like Sugudu, when they keep saying Baba Buhari, Onyo, Sugudu, something like that.
That one was particularly a song for Buhari's campaign. I'm not talking of one that you can predict. I'm talking of one that you cannot predict. Now, who remembers one song that mentioned someone's nickname? I don't want to mention the name of the song. I'm praying you guys to catch up on it. He mentioned one of the presidential candidates' nicknames, and the song came out long before primaries. It came out long before primaries, long before anything. It was already was already a, what they call it, was already a stunt. Can anybody mention it? Daniel's name, Daniel's hand is up. We have Daniel.
Um, can you hear me? Hello, sir.
Yes, I can hear you. Go
Okay,
ahead.
could it be Obi Kelerenke?
No, it's not.
That's
No.
okay.
No.
Thank you.
This is becoming hard, and I'm beginning to enjoy it. Just the fact that nobody. Okay, let me add a spin to it. Anybody that gets this song I'm particularly thinking of will credit the person's phone. Let me see who's gonna come up with this answer. I want to see how aware you guys are as Nigerians.
Good evening.
You said?
Okay. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. You have only one chance at the song. What song was it?
Okay. I am ahead of them. Siwaju, fucking ball. That is me, something like that.
This guy. Yeah, sharp. What's your name? Please reach out to the admin. I would say would get you 5,000 naira credit for getting this answer. So we'll move on to the class. Sorry, everybody. He picked the song already. We'll put all the other hands down now. So, like he said, I'm ahead of them. I see what doesn't look like song was actually playing your mind. It was. And don't ask me how I know. Do you understand? Let's not go into how I know. Let's go into how it was used. And these subtle things and subtle triggers are things that allow you think in a particular way. Most people say there's no psychology in politics. Okay. It's a good conversation. Who do you think? So here's the conversation. Do you know somebody was actually paid to come up with the slogan that small parties don't win elections and they're a waste of your votes? Does anybody know that? You can answer in chat box. Does any one of you know that? Does anybody know that? Okay. A consultant was paid. Come up with, the time there were multiple 90-something parties then in Nigeria, preceding 2019, and how to reposition, a particular big party. And that was what the consultant gave to them. And it sold like wildfire. Don't worry. Here's the good news about it. The same consultant who came up with that particular conversation was burnt by the same particular action in 2019 because he ran under a small party and was burnt by the same particular note, which he didn't know would spread like wildfire, came back to burn him. And I'm very well aware of this because of first-hand this thing. So a lot of times in politics, most people think this doesn't happen, but it happens quite a lot. It happens preceding the elections. Okay, I'll give you an example. 2027 is coming. They're already telling you, they're already priming that PDP should either bring Goodluck Jonathan or it will not stand a chance in the elections. What do you think that is? Who do you think is even selling the idea? You think it's PDP selling the idea? It isn't. So opposition itself throws out things and, throws out conversations. Who brought out the fake ADC flag? Are you guys aware of who brought out the fake ADC flag and the fact that they spelled their letter to INEC wrongly? Sorry, the party they thought was coalition. Who brought out that flag? Are any one of you aware of who brought it out? It wasn't the coalition that brought out that flag. That flag was brought out by the incumbent party. Let me not call anybody's name. And it was released to them for them to think that way. And they brought it out making a whole fun of it while another thing was going on at the back. You say there's no psychology in Nigerian politics. There is. Just plays on a very high level, and it's not something that is common or something that is spoken about. Now, what is relevant? Now, the truth is that the psychology of politics generally is understanding its peculiarities. It's quite complex in Nigeria because we have a very unique socio-political environment. So we have people that are directed by religion. We have those that are directed by ideology. We have those that are directed by multiple things across the board. And these are things we must learn to adapt. And these are the things we must learn to use. The funny thing is that we can play to their the strengths and we can choose not to. Like, how do I put it? If you're going to run in, let's say, southern Nigeria, this is just an example. If you're going to run in southern Nigeria, if you want to belittle a candidate, just keep playing his access to the north. If you're running in northern Nigeria, keep playing access to the south. Those are undermining. That's because we are very tribalistic in our nature and our operations and how we think. And so Nigeria's major factors are music, religion, tribe, or ethnicity. Barely really the man is really concerned about the man, whether he stole money last year or he didn't steal money or not really. So to understand Nigerian political behavior, we need to take a deep dive into Nigeria. Now, what are the factors that make up Nigeria? First is the historical. Now, this historical value, I'd like to look at the colonial legacy. And the reason why the colonial legacy is key here is because somewhere along the line, women were always powerful in politics and governance in Nigeria. Still, if I'm right, it's the Littleton Constitution. That's if I'm right. Was it the Macpherson? I can't remember. One of them. But I think the Constitution. Anyway, within the Constitution, it stated that, and this was after the Aba Women's Riot of 1936 and the Egba Uprising by Funmilayo Ransome Kuti in 41 or 42. And what happened now is that in this particular constitution, I can't remember whether it's Littleton or Macpherson. And what happened in this constitution is critical to how women are viewed in politics right now. Because it didn't say women shouldn't run for office. What it said is that you needed a particular amount of money to be able to run for office or to be able to vote in Nigeria at the time, cutting off a whole entire, disenfranchising a massive block. And if you take decisions like that, it's women that are going to be hit. So it's funny that the same people now, come with funders now and are saying, reserve seats, women in politics, this, that. Well, hello, you guys took it out first. So it's critical to know that this is some legacies we picked from the colonial end on how we view things generally and whether women can fit into political power. Before preceding then, women, come on, women were kings and queens across different parts of Nigeria. Now, military rule is also key. Within military rule, you had more forefront of male soldiers. We became a male-dominated society, and our tilt or our attitude or our direction towards elections was critical. It was immersed in the fact that we saw a man as a leader, and it didn't only put that. Military rule also imbibed in us one of the most, I think, annoying things, which means we only see Mr. President and we don't see anything else. We don't go outside the box when we're talking about conversations. We keep things on the top. We believe only the top hierarchy can save us. We also do not think anybody at any level, or do we question any level? And here's how bad it has gone. Post-fuel subsidy, the removal of fuel subsidy. States and local governments have been packaging at least 30% of more than 30% of their former FAC allocations. I was having a talk with somebody and he was telling me, no, he's in Kosofe, there's no money. And I told him Kosofe gets close to, I think about 800 million a month, but you have to divide it across the 3 LCDs. But it gets 600. He was like, no, that's not possible. Kosofe cannot. And we started to check it. Kosofe is actually on 920. That's approximately 300 a month for this thing. We don't care about that. This data used to be released in conjunction with budgets by the Electoral College, FAC allocation to local governments. We used to do it different states. We never got a drive. We never got a move on it. Everybody was always quiet about it. And the reason why I think everybody was quiet about it stems from here. military rule. It's the president, it's the AFRC, that's the Armed Forces Ruling Council, which used to be like the FEC that you have now. And they seem to decide everything. And that thought process has gotten into our political behavior. Next will be cultural. Now, I'd like to state something. I'm going to break Nigeria down into three compartments, be it north, west, and east. And nobody should take any of this personal. Not just based on. So traditionally, Eastern Nigeria was based on more of a legislative kind of rule, not a monarchy. It was more legislative. Everybody comes, sits down, decides in the village square what happens. I think one of the first places in the world to have a constitution is Eastern Nigeria. And I said in the world, and I know what I'm saying. Um, so their thought process has always been legislative, which is why they don't seem to have one strong man of power. Okay, they did at one time with Ojukwu, but well, that didn't last. They don't seem to have one strong man of power. This is no offense. Now, let's look at the Western side. Western was full of monarchy and more like a republic because they had a prime minister. Because of that, Western Nigeria it's kind of, I don't know how to put it. I would say they look at governance in a business or capitalist way. Hence, almost everything in Southwest, tax, up and down. That's the thought process. Now, when you come to Northern Nigeria, Northern Nigeria is more delved in monarchy and feudalism, and then a little bit of infusing religion into power. And that still shows in their politics. One strong man, a lot of people willing to jump at him or whatever. And that's a curve of maybe basic ethnicity and how they react in three separate regions. So it tells you whether in Eastern Nigeria, no, we don't come behind one guy. All of us have power. It's not an offense. It's a strength and it's also a weakness when it comes to running for president. Same in the West, same in the North. So religion has also played a very key factor in understanding Nigeria's political behavior. If I say this now, everybody will take it personal. I don't want to. That's not how you describe this. That it won't go one way. I don't know how to put this. Anyway, let me just say the religions act differently, both, and I'm not talking of just one. I'm talking of even people that practice the traditional religions, Islam and other religions, are more spontaneous to politics and work more within politics than Christians. Now, Christians are not like this. Yes, I said it's Christians. Because if you had liver, why have you not done Christian tickets? None of it now. I'm not trying to bring I don't really care about religious tickets, so that's Christian or Muslim. But I'm going to tell you that Christians rather invest money in a private jet than invest in someone who's running for office. Traditional religions, Islam and others are in that way. And I think that's a hard truth that I know most people don't want to hear here. Anyway, we also have our visions based on communal identity. And those communal identities, which is where we'll say, is this world storm? Is this world storm? So when is this world storm, or three sons of the world will come out, even if the best person belongs to another world, which is not the world storm yet, also has affected our political behavior. We now think that a particular person needs a turn. Democracy is not based on turns. It's not a musical chair. Musical chairs, I don't know. When we're growing up, some people Gen Z might not have it. We used to play music and go around the chair. That's musical chair. And when you stop it, whoever sits and doesn't have a chair, the chairs are always one person, one chair less than the number of people going around it. So we now think politics is a game of musical chairs in Nigeria. Now, the economic part would be poverty and voter inducement. Now, people only think voter inducement occurs at grassroots level. No, it doesn't. Voter inducement actually is more prevalent at mid-range levels. And I gave an example the other day. You're building websites for somebody. You're handling this for somebody. Yeah, they always exchange, and you take a lot of money for it, and eventually you start supporting that particular person. This happens. I know how some people found themselves in the APC. I know how some people found themselves in the PDP. Some people even say, hey, I better come up with Article TV. That's how they found themselves spared in PDP. And, just all that. It starts with like it's business, but you get jobs done. we print posters, we do things. Massive inducement happens actually. And besides, as much as the middle class, and that's also we scream, hey, yeah, they're giving money, 5K. Wait, who's giving 5K? Because last I remember, I've never seen Tiku or Tinubu or anybody in the streets. They're not. It's me and you that will collect that money. They give us more than the money, then we'll break it down to give them 2K per vote or 1K or 500 if you see it anyway. Now, and these are things or factors that could help or could help undo an election. Now, emotional voting over rational decision making. Now, Nigerians are most guilty of this. I don't think there's anything we're more guilty of than emotional voting. And we could vote for somebody just because he goes to my church. We vote for somebody because he went to my school. It's not the best candidate. We vote for somebody because my sister is married to his cousin. We vote for somebody because, just different things. Or your senior brother is making money from him. You're behind him. Now, sometimes, I dated him in secondary school. So, or not in secondary school, let me say. I dated him in university. He's a good guy. He might be a good guy, but might not be a good leader. So we make such decisions, and sometimes we even follow our so-called, I call them daddy and mommy geos on social media. So we have daddy and mommy geos, and those people that anything they write on social media, like, retweet, like, retweet, you don't even care what they're saying. Once people say, this is the candidate, people follow through like sheep. And you don't rationally, like now, if I ask people to say, okay, what was your candidate, the candidate you voted for in elections? But I ask any one of you here, what was his position on Nigeria being non-aligned in foreign policy? I don't think anybody can answer that here. Because we don't bother about such things. What's his position on infant mortality? What's his position on women in the labor force? What is his position directly on primary education? Don't tell me he wants to build schools. Now, that's unintelligent. What exactly is his position or his priority in education? And most cannot give that. And then this emotional behavior, of course, gives birth to the destructive devil in the room, loyalty to personalities over institution. Our loyalty to personalities are, I don't know. It's so bad in Nigeria that someone like Portugal has these 2 million followers. How? And we don't even understand that this is us, picking personalities over institutions. And we say we want our institutions strengthened. How is our institution going to be strengthened when we don't even consider the institutions? And that's where the problem lies. But, move forward. So myth one, my vote does not count, which is carried by a lot of many people here. Now, the origin of that myth is electoral malpractice and rigging history. And the impact of that electoral malpractice, which is not as massive as we think it is, but it happens, is a very bad thing. Now, the psychological impact on you is voter apathy and disengagement. I'm not voting again, my vote does not count. My this. But here's the conversation. The reality is incremental improvement in electoral reforms, e.g. BVAS, which limits electoral malpractice to almost a minimum. It also empowers the electorate, that's the Electoral Act, to demand accountability. But how will you use it when you've not even read it? Now, election violence, I keep telling people, data on election violence in Nigeria is down to, the 2023 is the most safe elections Nigeria has ever had. And if you do not remember, take your time back to just 2019 when they were burning resident electoral commissioners in their homestead. Happened in Kano, I think. Burnt another woman in Kogi. That was how our elections used to go. And it was massive, you get. But, we keep complaining. Yes, we complain because we want better. But it doesn't necessarily mean That's exactly the situation is still as is. Now, Miss Two, politics is only for the wealthy. Now, that is the perception. Yes, financial capital is prerequisite for political. You must have a backyard of money. But if we were like that, Atiku would have won president since now. It is not. It's not really that way. It's not all about the money. I'm not saying money does not count in politics, but it's a tool. It's not the tool. And then the psychological effect on that is dissuasion of competent and ethical candidates. You can't do this. You can't raise money. You can't be this. You can't be that. Reality on ground is individuals have succeeded without wealth across states. And the Labour Party wave, I believe more than anybody has taught everybody that. Grassroots mobilization and crowdfunding are also alternatives. This has worked even before that Labour Party drive. 2019, a lot of people won with just that. And we need to understand these things exist. Just their pockets, but they're there. Now, Miss Three, ethnic and religious sentiments always strive. Now, we have a belief system politicians must align with ethnic or religious blocks to succeed. Reality of it is that success stories of cross-regional and cross-religious candidates are all over Nigeria. In Lagos, in Abuja, in Kano, in Cross River, and all across Nigeria. Gradual shifts, whether we like it or not, are tilting towards issue-based campaigns. And we're beginning to see that more and more often in Nigeria. Yes, it's not exactly where we are supposed to be, but the path is headed there. And we will get there someday. So next will be the reality of political cynicism. Now, I believe all politicians are corrupt or self-serving. We put this in our heads, and it has psychologically affected us from looking at governance or caring about politics or anything else in Nigeria. Has reduced citizen engagement in governance, has normalized unethical political behavior because we already expect it from our politicians. Let me tell you something here, and this is going to shock all of you. None of you will vote for a politician you've not heard before, even if he's good at what. Even if the way he talks, you know he understands the job. You will never vote for a politician you've not heard before. You want to know why? Well, I'll tell you something. Recently, one of my friends is considering running in 2027, and they were saying, "Kunle, we need to, we ran in 2019, we ran again in 2023, so we want to run in 2027. I was like, this guy, you'll have the heart of a lion. It was like, I only need one thing. I said, what do you need? Kunle, you don't know what I need. We learned in 2019. 2023 taught me something, but I need something for 2027. I said, what is that thing? He said, what every politician needs is scandal. You people vote for people that have climbed tree, somebody who has tried to stop playing, somebody who has what they call it, stolen money, or you had stole money. Those are the people, those are the names. We say, hey, I know these names. You, who are you? I don't know you. Sounds funny, right? That's how we do. This one is slapped his wife in airport. This one, yeah, you need a scandal. Well, this one side chick has got him here or something. You need a scandal. And now the only way to counteract this cynicism, even within this class, with how I hear people still make some funny comments during class, is to promote transparency and civic education. And that's what we try to do, to ensure that you're not caught up in this quagmire of nonsense and smoke, and you can walk out of the smoke and see how it really is or how things really are. If few of you are not going to leave this model, no matter how we pull you out of it, your mind, you are so buried in it, so entrenched in it, it has become the core of your entire frame. But you don't have to be there. The more you understand, the better you'll be. One of the key things which brings us, I said, scandal, which brings us to propaganda, which is Nigeria's heaviest things to hold you back in politics. The first thing is fear mongering. If you run for office, they're going to kill you. I'm not going to tell you that they didn't attempt my life, but I'm still here. I'm teaching in electoral college. Yeah, it wasn't interesting, but I'm still here. I'm not going to tell you that they will not try to rig. I'm not going to tell you that they will not try to do something to hurt you, bring out information. You know, they always say if you want to know how your grandfather toasted your grandmother, enter politics. So Fear-mongering is a key tool and a weapon that has been used to keep people out of politics. Next to be fake news and misinformation, which is also, how propaganda. And then they make emotional appeals over logic. Yeah, once they start this argument now, like in Lagos, Igbo people are trying to take our land. This, that. Yorubas from nowhere will start fighting. Which Igbo is trying to take your land? Let's go and start acting anyhow. And we have these certain situations that keep us inside this kind of quagmire, puts us in a very, very funny position. Well, it happens. Now, the impact on voters is manipulation of decision making. The Igbo person will come in to vote to say, I'm not voting a Yoruba person. Sure, they want to kick us out of Lagos. Ends up polarizing communities, sharing them into voting blocks in which you can almost predict where they are going to go based on the emotional bias propaganda has provided them. Now, generally, psychologists provide political hope. It's youth involvement in politics. The reason why I'm not flogging on some things is that you already know. We've taught you to this point, so I'm not supposed to flog on too many things. So youth involvement in politics, it gives us a little drive that, it's not the usual suspects. I'm not going to say it means there's better governance. So, excuse me, because I don't think the youth are better at governance than the older ones. I think we need a mix of everybody. It should be a basis of inclusion for everybody. The things we need great minds at. The things we need the youth at, the exuberance of the youth. There's massive rising awareness of governance issues, but there's also a prevalent political illiteracy, which is why, even though the awareness rises, because there's no political literacy or there's poor political literacy, this awareness has not been able to achieve the necessary accountability it is supposed to achieve. There's also increased advocacy and community participation, which of course is providing hope in a way. And they're trying to get to the promised land in Nigeria, and I hope we get there. So what are the actionable solutions? We need to build political awareness. And that's what you did with your projects. I forgot. I commended you guys on the WhatsApp group. But I haven't commended you publicly. I'm commending you publicly now. I'm very, very proud of the 18th cohort. I'm proud of your physical projects. I would say you guys showed critically that all of you guys showed immensely that you belong to this college more than anything. I'm very, very proud of every one of you and the time you took to pull those things. I'm also very impressed. But as usual, you guys have to spoil it, like Labour Party not doing its primaries. But anyway, let's not talk about that. So, building political awareness. Then we also need to socialize the Constitution. The Constitution is the holy book of our citizenry, meaning the Constitution is a birthright. It's not something, and I kind of dislike lawyers for this, and I always say it anytime I have to speak at an MBA conference or somewhere. I always tell them they have taught Nigerians to think that the Constitution belongs to them. It doesn't. It belongs to every Nigerian. Well, lawyers don't even know it that much. So anyway, we also need to foster inclusive politics, bring in women, bring in youth, people living with disability. We need to be able to have people, so we need to also support marginalized groups. Now, there's one thing we say in our politics. We don't need debates. Let them just go. If we stand that you're not voting for someone who is not at a debate, they will come to the debates. But have you even asked that of people that are running? That's a question I need to ask you guys. And there needs to be massive orientation and political literacy. This, more than anything, is most important. So in conclusion, I'll say the ignorance of one voter in a democracy impairs the security of all. That's John F. Kennedy. So let us commit to understanding the myths and realities of our political system for informed citizens create a stronger Nigeria. Signed, for the love of country, Kunilawal, Executive Director, Electoral College, Nigeria. Thank you, everyone, and I'm open for questions at this point.
Okay, thank you so much, Edie. If you have any questions, you can indicate by raising up your hand, or you drop your question in the chat box and we're going to read it out. So please just indicate by raising up your hand. Okay, so please, if you're going to ask your question, remember to keep it short. Others are waiting, right? If you take too long, I'm going to mute you. Thank you very much. NS, you can unmute and ask your question.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. My voice is not really good, but let me say just manage it. Mine is not a question, it's a bit of contribution, sir. So I totally enjoyed this class and I'm grateful that I attended this particular class. I've been attending the others too because this reminds me of what one of our lecturers used to say about politics and psychology in Nigeria. And then his emphasis were on during politics, we are made to understand that some roads are free for use. And whatever is there, they'll make any arrangement for that voters should go and vote. But after election, such roads are not usable. And then the other one, you talk of salt and Maggi, all these ingredients that we use to cook. So his own emphasis was on how do we collect these things and go and use them when we already have them in our homes? And don't we think that these things come with spirituality attached to it? And then it reminds me a lot of things. In a political rally, for example, they share money and people fight, some injure themselves, or even died in the process. And when people are back, you ask them, how much did you get? They tell you that I struggle and I got just 115 naira. So I enjoyed the class. I just want to give that kind of contribution, and it has opened my eyes to a lot of things. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That they got something they
Okay, Oluwatosin. Oluwatosin.
Good afternoon, AD. Good evening. Thank you
Good
very much for
evening.
your wonderful lecture. My question is this: you talked about that people don't like to vote. People like to vote for a popular candidate during your lecture. But my question is this: how do these? I don't want to. I'm trying to find the right word for them. I don't want to use the lower political parties, but let me just use it anyway. How will you say they can help in political mobilization? And the reason why I'm asking this question is because I want to cite this example of the local government elections that happened in Lagos recently. I discovered that, yes, we might want to blame the citizenry for want to vote for the political candidate, the popular candidate, but I discovered that a lot of people are not even familiar with the candidates of the other parties, apart from the political parties, because in terms of mobilization, maybe those people have not done well. Okay, in my area, for example,
Okay,
in my local
wait.
government,
Let
for
me hold
example,
you. Wait,
I
let me
discovered that
hold you. Let me hold you. Let me hold you. What local government are you from?
okay, I currently reside in Ifakojaye local government.
You said?
Ifakojaye. Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. Now let's make this more interesting. Are you aware Davido got married?
Yes, I'm aware.
Okay. Then why don't you know the candidates of other parties?
No, I'm not speaking for myself.
Wait.
I'm not even speaking for myself, but from interaction.
Oga, slow down. I'm using you as an example. You are here, but the other persons are not here. So I'm using you now. I'm using you. How many candidates do you know in Ifakoijai?
Okay, I know that of the People's Democratic Party. I know that of the Labour Party also, and I know that of the All Progressive Congress.
That's 3.
Yes, I think
That's
about
3.
5 fully contested in my local government, 5 political parties. Yes.
Yeah, but
because
you know,
it was not on the day of
slow down.
the election.
Slow down. There's only one question I've asked you. Do you know the defense? So you didn't know them till the day of the election, but you knew Davido got married.
No, I knew the 3. No, I knew the 3 before the election because they were out there. But the other two, I was not even aware they were contesting until the day of the elections because I didn't even see any poster of them. I couldn't find any.
Do you know that it is your duty as a Nigerian to find out who is running so that you can improve your choices? Do you know that it's your duty? You are reversing the job. Yes, politicians are supposed to have that conversation and try and project themselves, but it's a two-way street. It is also your duty as a Nigerian to find who is running and compare and get the best. At least even if you don't owe it to yourself or to your community, you owe it to the next generation. You know that, right? Hello, sir. Okay, I guess it's no longer there. So
Yes, sir. Yes, I can hear you, sir.
yeah, so you owe it, even if you don't owe it to yourself, you owe it to the next generation. Because if you pick wrongly, their decisions will affect the next generation. The child that is born and there's no incubator in the primary healthcare center and the child dies, that is on you. It's not on the hospital, it's not on the doctor, it's on the local government chairman who's in charge of primary healthcare that did not provide. And why did the person not provide? Because a few of you made a choice based on not the best, but based on the most available option. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that
Yes,
most
sir. Yes, sir.
available option has affected. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking directly to you. I'm talking generally. And that's what Nigerians don't understand about politics. So you made a choice based on the most available option. And that most available option is going to bury all of us. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
Yes, sir. Thank you very much,
as
sir.
much as a candidate is not available, do you understand? It is your duty as a Nigerian to find him. It is not your duty. Your duty is to pick the best. That's your job, your constitutional given right to pick the best to be able to translate where you are going. But now you don't want to pick the best. You want the ones that came to you, then you will choose. I didn't see their poster. Okay, what if you didn't steal money to print poster? But he has the best mapped out plan for healthcare in your primary healthcare center. That means you've thrown him away. I'm not speaking
How
to
do I
you
even find out his
directly.
plan?
Yeah, you need to. You're asking me how did you find out his plan? How do you know Davido is married? Yeah, I'm asking you now. The one that doesn't concern you in America, you know. The one that concerns you inside your house, you do not know. What's wrong with going to the
So
party?
I
What's
found
wrong
out
with going
from a
to the
colleague.
party? Yeah, no. So you found out from a colleague, okay, but you cannot find out the person's manifesto from a colleague. How interesting. I know, for me, it's selective things we pick important, and that's the truth. If you're being selective with you, be selective with governance. And that's the truth. If you know, I can tell you, most people, if you look at voters in local governments or municipals abroad, they don't even know what's happening in the center, but they know what's going on in their place. Everybody that declared to run from the day they opened their mouth, they were running. They know. If you cannot, and this, I want everybody in this class to understand this. If you cannot influence elections at local level, forget state or federal, throw it away. Because it means generally, and this, I'm not talking to anybody directly, it means generally you are irrelevant. You cannot effect change in your local government. Later, you wonder why Nigeria is in disarray. Yes, that's because none of us hold, without immunity, none of us hold our local government accountable. We've taught you in this class that local government do not have immunity. Your translation is that Kule Lawal is the one that said it. I'm not the one that said it. Your constitution provides that. But here's the conversation. Which of you has carried any of your local government chairmen to court? I can't preview of my position, but which of you has carried any of your local government chairmen to court? These are people that are sitting on 900 and something million a month. Ali Mosho is sitting on 1.8 billion a month. And there are 6 LCDs. Then everybody they collect 300 million. How? And these guys are walking around. I don't really understand it. So whenever you say yeah, you didn't have access, I don't understand that conversation. It is your job to go and find who is running. It's not only the politician's job to reach out to you, it's also your job to find out because you must make the best decision. I can move on to the next question, man. Is peace there?
Yes, Edie. Aka.
Hello?
Aka, you can unmute. I've asked you to unmute.
Yes, I've done that. Good evening.
Good evening, Patrick.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the topic and today's lecture. Mine is that we're talking about politics and psychology of the people and then maybe the politicians as well. Now, I don't know, sir, if you have at any point in time or in recent times heard Nigerians say things like that no matter what Nigerians do, whether they vote the current president or they don't vote him, he will still come back. I don't know, sir, if you have heard that kind of comment from Nigerians, sir.
But wait, the phrase you say that no matter what,
Because I hear a lot of Nigerians, they will tell you that no matter what Nigerians do, that the president will come back. That
one
no matter
happens
whether
in the
Nigerians vote or not,
okay.
you know. So,
Okay, that
and again,
one
sometimes we also hear
that,
from people tell you that Tinubu is not Goodluck Jonathan, sir.
okay.
Hello, sir.
Haven't you heard people tell you that climate change is not real? Haven't you heard people tell you that HIV is not real? Does it make HIV unreal? People talk. It's normal, and one of the big things about politics is that they need you to believe it so that you follow. That's what I said. The psychology of politics. No matter what you do, this is what will happen. Okay, no matter what you do, then you leave your country. Okay, they've won now. I'm not going to go and vote. Then you sit down at home. That's exactly what they want you to do now, especially if you're an opposing vote.
No, what I'm trying to say is that I'm talking about everyday Nigerians on the street in relaxation
Yes, and
sport.
that's what I'm answering you with. That's what I'm answering you with. Now, when they tell you no matter what you do, the president will win, will you not sit down at home? I'm asking you, will you not sit down at home and not go and vote? That's what most likely happens. And when you choose not to sit down at home, of course, you as an opposing vote probably will sit down at home. That's one more vote that they've not lost. It's all politics. Happens in every country now. That one happens in every country.
Okay, sir, because me, what I normally do is that I try to, as much as possible, to disabuse the minds of such persons and make them see how I can make some of those people optimistic and believe in the process. Because you hear some people begin to tell you that Tinubu is not Jonathan, and I begin to ask them that what exactly do they mean by those kind of statements they make? Are they trying to say that maybe the current president is going to, if he loses, he's not going to concede, or are they trying to say that he's going to go against the constitution? But nobody has been able to really come out to tell me that this is exactly what they mean by those kind of statements. That's why I'm throwing this question maybe to you, and then maybe some of my other colleagues.
But I've answered the question for you. You're the one that just doesn't want to hear what I'm saying. Yes, that is what they will say. But that's power play with politics. It's normal. It's the game of power. I ensure that the opposition doesn't stand up and go and vote so that I will win. It's simple now. It's very simple. That's not true. If President Bola Ahmed Tinubu loses the election, he will leave office. It's not even brag. He knows better than that. So but he won't tell you that he's going to lose the election. You never hear it from him or his cohort or whatever. But it doesn't mean day or night at the back he's not politicking. So this is not even a conversation for us to have. I believe we're a little bit too politically literate to have this kind of conversation. I'm surprised. No women here today. Or they're
Oh,
waiting
the
for
women are
reserve.
sleeping today.
They are waiting. They are waiting for a reserve question.
Jibril, Jibril Abdul Hamid.
Hello, good evening, ED.
Good
Thank you
evening.
very much for the wonderful presentation. I would like to say that this is one of the best classes I've attended so far. And I think it's this has to do with my background in psychology. You presented as if you're a psychologist yourself. So thank you for that. I just want to add
Thank you.
what the earlier participant just put forward. I want to make this categorically clear that that's one of the manipulations that ED has been talking about. These people, they are playing politics and they're using psychology. They want you to think that, okay, regardless of what I do, regardless of the effort I put in, nothing will still change. So by injecting that idea in you, okay, I would rather sit back without doing anything. That means you are giving them the edge over you. So it is a manipulative antics that politicians are employed because they know we buy into it. So I want to tell you that anytime people tell you that it is idea, they are selling ideas to you. They want you to think in that line. And by the time every other person starts thinking in that line, we will not stand up to do anything. And if they are not challenged, they continue to perpetuate their self in power. That is the thing. Another thing I want to ask the ED is about money politics. Money politics in the sense that we've seen inducement. Some people cannot fight off inducement because of their situation, socioeconomic status. Poverty we know in the country has been weaponized such that some people are wretched. The moment they're given a pin or like 500, 1,000, they will say, oh, after all, if these people wins now, they will do nothing for us. We'll not see them. There's no way we can call them to account. I'd rather collect this 500 naira today that I've seen. Let me enjoy this one as it once and for all. So all this mentality we've been trying to see that we talk people out with, okay, you've survived 4 years without this 500 and you can survive another day without it. But then, people now, they say, oh, now they think that one because they think say it's a book. So all this idea, I want ED to suggest another way for us. We can go about enlightening these people to forget about those ideas that, okay, let me take what I can get from them today. If they like today, tomorrow they should do whatever they want to do with our distant resources and what have you. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. First and foremost, I read public administration. That's my first degree. And then public administration, I don't know about now. As of then, we did 2 years of psychology, educational and social psychology. So when I got into politics, kind of understanding minds on psychology basically was easy for me. Now, as regards the point you made, here's this. When I've been given the opportunity to speak at different places on these matters, what I always say, the first thing I always say is, I don't understand how you say I will collect 500 naira out of my money and give you 10 million to play with. Because in translation, that's what happens in politics. You give the person the entire kitty or budget when you give him your mandate. But to you, you say, I'm collecting 500 now because I can hold it now. Nobody weaponized poverty. You weaponize miseducation of electioneering, or you weaponize, or you have weaponized against your own self a political machinery, because it's you that's telling yourself, let me collect this one now and then wait for the next 4 years. When you can choose to go hungry today and eat for the next 4 years, you want to eat today and be hungry for the next 4 years. For me, that's how I explain it to people, and that's how I think they should understand it. For those that don't want to participate, like you said, it's just political gimmicks and etc. But the truth is, people have to understand that they shortchange themselves. Nobody can weaponize poverty. There is the idea of weaponizing poverty in means to an end. But even when you weaponize poverty, if the people choose to stand and say no, it's not going to happen. I'll give you an example. 2015, Nigeria was not even as bad as it is now. But it was already having a semblance of things going down. Everybody stood and said, no, who told you PDP did not bring out money? Do you know the amount of money PDP brought out in 2015? I don't think they brought out money in an elections like that ever in Nigeria's history. When they say money day like water, it was like you were at an Obi Cubana party. No offense. So. But that's how money was flowing in 2015. Yeah, the people refused. We have the ability to make such choices. Are we weak to make such choices? Yeah. But we have the ability to make such choices. And that's my position. So, Peace. I don't know whether I have to be ready. Peace, are you there?
Adeleke Ibrahim. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you so much. Good
Thank you, sir.
evening, with you and everyone.
Good evening. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, so I'm trying to find a very silent place. I'm actually on transit, so but I'm almost there. So, but then, well, in the state where I am, there's one of the off-cycle or the reunion election that's just taking place this weekend today. Precisely in Wemo State Federal Constituency for the House of Rep, which we actually observe. And I must say, I want to say something about the things that the two last speakers talked about, and that is the fact that, and also the thing that you mentioned, Didi, that politicians will make probably some threats or say anything you'd like to do will still win this election and the likes. Well, in as much as I know that, or I agree that they may not be making some of the times they don't really mean what they say. But on this particular one, I will also say that these guys could also mean what they say. How do I mean? In this election that we observed, I'm talking about, there was massive vote buying. One, all the parties involved actually, induced voters. I think we should get that correctly straight. All the parties, based on our observation, all the parties actually induced voters. Then the other part, which is the violence part. Yes, it got to a point that where would I say, thugs, from a political party actually came and started driving the parties which they are against, if you like, call them opposition. They begin to chase them. In fact, they will come, they will ask you, do you belong to so party? If you say yes, then they will unleash terror on you. So they actually I'm trying to say that at times when they make this threat, they actually meant it. And you get to see police, they were helpless. Even policemen were helpless. In fact, at some point, some policemen had started, running for their lives, even they themselves. So I'm trying to say at times when they make these threats, they are not empty threats, just per se. There is element, there is something that they actually believe in, to carry out. So that's just my. Then lastly,
No, Ibrahim,
yes, sir.
I didn't say the threats were empty. What I said was we can choose to respond to it or choose not to. The only reason they can perpetrate violence in any polling unit is always on that. I can tell you that polling unit did not even have a quarter of the people that were supposed to vote there. Am I right or am I wrong?
Okay, of course, there's always voter apathy almost everywhere.
Yes, because if there was no voter apathy, those talks cannot come there because their mothers are there, their fathers are there, their aunties are there, their brothers are there. And that's the concept of election that we don't yet understand. The more we come out to vote, the less electoral violence, the less this thing. By-elections barely have 20%. You see, this House of Rep person win with 40,000 votes. Watch now. Like, I'll tell you the truth. I always tell people that if I were to contest an election again, one of the best elections I'd love to contest is a by-election. Because I know I just need to convince about 40,000 or 50,000 people to vote for me, which is very simple. People are not coming out. And that's why all these things happen. They can threaten. If it were a general election, would they be able to do what they are doing? They can't now. This is because it's a by-election. Nobody really cares. Even the people voting, how many people came out? Not up to 20% of the people will come out. So these are the conversations that keep happening and which are a problem. I always tell people that when we are looking at, so the way you look at by-elections is different from how you look at general elections, which is different from how you look at off-cycle elections. They all have three different characters and three different mannerisms or behavior. But thank you very much, Ibrahim, for your deep insight
Yeah,
into
thank you
this
so much. You're
conversation.
welcome, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so thank you. We have a question from Mafeng Madiba Musa in the chat box. He says, if other political parties are orchestrating and planting seeds of confusion in other parties to mislead or get some form of advantage, isn't that a crime and shouldn't that count as misconduct?
All is fair in two things in life. All is three things. All is fair in war, in love, and in politics. Who asked you to allow somebody enter your party and be causing mayhem? Who asked you to? The only times people can cause mayhem in a party, you've collected money from the individual now. Wike that PDP cannot throw out. You know how much almost everybody, including Bala Mohammed and whatever, will not be in their positions if Wike did not give them money or help them. So they can't throw Wike out because he sponsored the entire hierarchy, including chairman. He helped bring all those people. Why can't they throw Wike out? So what happens with issues with people in political parties, the running things or being corrupt or whatever, or that they can't kick somebody out or they can't do it? It's because you allowed somebody come into the party and the person has sponsored and done and whatever. You can't throw the person out when it starts this problem now. So you can't say it's criminal. How is it criminal? You allowed him. Did somebody enter the party and say by force? If somebody you don't want to have a say cannot have a say in the party. You're the one that creates the avenue for the person to have a say. So I think that's my position on that.
Okay, thank you, D. Otta Nelson, you can unmute and ask your question.
Yeah, good evening, all.
Good evening.
Thank you so much. My question is, and sorry, I had network issues, so I didn't know if it was covered. Is it psychology where towards election, as seen in 2003, 2007, I was observing it 2015. Okay, 2015, I wouldn't say, but 19 and 23, that once election is getting quite close, just not on the federal, but also more on the state, there is so much promise from INEC, the electoral body, that this election is going to be free and fair. And then once it gets close, majority tend not to see that the result called is what they believe, I in quote, they believe what was what transpired at the polling unit. And then they tend not to vote, causing voter apathy. Is that psychological? Like, is it a game being played by INEC, or is not what it is? Because I was in a public transport today and I had to try to convince people that 18th of, that's next tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to start their voters registration. They should go get their voters card and vote party of their choice. And they were like, once it's getting close, INEC tends to give us hope, but the result we see does not reflect what is on ground. So I'm asking, is this psychological or is it what it is? I really don't know. Thank you.
For me, I think it's psychological because if you look at it, I don't think INEC does its best during elections. There are minimal errors, and I can tell you that. Let me tell you something, and let me be honest with you, and let's be honest with each other. You cannot make someone a winner of an election if the person didn't already have majority votes. Do you know that? Do you know that? Rigging only accounts for, let's say, 10 or 20% hype. You already must have a large hype before you can even be rigged for. Is it somebody that
Yes,
has
I
6
do.
votes? You are going to, yeah, is it somebody that has 6 votes you are going to go and rig for? Where are you rigging to? Who's going to agree to that one? Do you understand? So
Okay.
let's be honest. And I made it clear. I said it. 2023 elections, the top 4 parties, all parties that scored above 1 million, they rigged. You might not want to accept it, but it's the truth. They were involved in rigging, vote buying, etc. Do not make this thing seem like It is, and I've said it in another class. Do not make this thing seem like it is one party doing it, or it is one set of people, or it's one school. It is a normal Nigerian position. Well, who do you think makes INEC complacent? You think it's INEC? Take a better
No,
look. Oh. It's also, bros. If I
I'm
give you
listening,
money
sir.
for election, or let me give you a question. If I say, okay, vote for me, I want to run in your place, and I give you 1K to vote for me, and you collect the 1K and vote your mind, is that not you? But
It's me.
imagine if I came and I give you 1K, and then you say, okay, you vote for me, and you vote for me. Is it not you accepting it? How is that INEC's
That's me.
fault? How is that INEC's fault? They put the laws that vote buying is against the law. If you do not report that they try to bribe you, or you try to accept, if nobody reports it, it's done. I don't know how you're holding INEC for vote buying. Because in the end, as much as they're there, they don't have eyes everywhere. And this happens. So we are all guilty of vote buying. We're all guilty of INEC being complacent or whatever. Who bribes the polling agent unit? It's us now. Who do you think? It's Nigerians, politicians and none. But no one's collecting money now. In Akwa Ibom, sorry, is it Akwa Ibom? Is it Cross River? It's one of the South states. Either Cross River,
Yeah.
either Bayelsa or whatever. A resident electoral commission went to jail for his offenses in 2019. Did you know that? Can
Yes, I
Google
am
it.
aware.
Oh, he went to jail. But nobody will see that one. No. All the 173 people here 156 people that dislike INEC will not see that news. Nigerians, it's selective information we used to carry inside our heads. The news not trend on Twitter because it's not interesting. We need to say Nigeria is useless. That doesn't pay. So yeah, it's hard, but I'll tell you, you need to continue talking to people. You need to continue making it clear to them. The only reason, and this is what I always tell, the simplest one, the only reason they can rig an election is because you were not there. That's the truth. You were not there,
ED,
and
sir.
that's why. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So sorry to step in. Can you reconcile what played out in Abia State? I wouldn't go back to 2015, but let me go back to 2023, whereby Obiungwa had to concoct 100,000 vote plus, which, if it was accepted, it would have overridden that of Labour Party, bringing in the PDP candidate. From your explanation, are you trying to take away INEC, like separate INEC from the returning officers? Are they not the part of INEC in as much as they do not?
No,
They are not permanent staffs.
returning officers are normally picked from universities. Now, don't you know that?
Yes, I am aware, but they are part of INEC. I'm trying to say.
No, they are not part of INEC. They are not.
For the purpose of the
INEC
election?
picks them. Yes, INEC picks them for the purpose of election to come and participate from universities. So all those ones that are doing that one, that will go back to university and be buying car. It's just, no, they pick them and they make it that way so that they seem independent. But they are apparently not independent sometimes. Do you remember the woman that stood her ground? She too was from a university now, the one that does money. It was from a university, doesn't work for INEC now. It works for a university. Yes, they pick people from universities. Do you understand? And they always felt that people from universities understand better or know better. Well, that is not necessarily true. Found out. So they're not INEC staff.
I agree with you.
They're just picked in. Yeah. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so very much.
Okay,
That's helpful.
thank you.
Thank you once again.
John Mark Kalu. You can
Where
unmute
are the
and
girls in this class?
Good evening, class.
You've gone on reset.
Good evening, all.
Good evening.
Mine is just a little contribution. I must have to say that I enjoyed the class, first of all. And the class have really reawakened our mindset. It have really bring our mind to consciousness of the constitutions in the areas of holding our local government authorities accountable at all time through the constitution by making them do that which is necessary for us in the local government authorities. And by so doing, it is for us to, as in, put in our own best at all times to make sure that we checkmate our local government authorities, those in power, check them to an appropriate rules and regulations that they need to abide by providing those things which is necessary for us to have. So for me, I enjoyed the class. Thank you all.
Hello. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, John. Madu 4. You can unmute and ask your question.
Okay, good evening, sir. Thank you for the enlightenment. So I wanted to say something. Sir, permit me to
We
stand
have
on
a girl.
We have a lady.
So,
okay, sir. Sir, permit me to
Continue.
stand on the point that say that it is impossible for us to pick our own candidate. So why am I saying this? So this is my third time in this electoral college. I wasn't able to qualify for the first and second. But sir, during my second section, I joined political party because he said, okay, you needed to be involved and that will help you to look, that will help you to choose your own candidate. But sir, this recent election that took place, in the same political party that I was in, we had a candidate. Let me just say we had Baje as our candidate. We all went for Baje. Then all of a sudden, the people on top just came down and they were like, they wanted us to go for Tokumbo. And we
Which
could
election
not.
are you talking about? Which election are you talking about? Which, excuse me, which
recent one.
election? Is it within the electoral college or outside the electoral college? Which, is it within the electoral college or outside the electoral college?
Outside the electoral
Hello?
college, sir. Outside, sir.
Okay, continue.
So
Yeah, continue.
so sir, we could not say anything. Like we don't even have a say. We just had to follow them. And some people tried to, they were like, even though you want to say something, they will not listen to you. They have chosen their candidates, and it is how the whole thing goes. And I was like, so I don't know what you have to say to that.
Wait, Janice, I need to ask you one critical question.
Okay, sir.
Joining the party is one thing. You're aware there are delegates, there's consensus, depending on what primaries the party decides to use, right?
Yes, sir.
You're aware, right? So were
Yes,
you
sir.
a delegate?
No, sir.
How do you want to choose the candidate without being a delegate? There's only one way if they use direct primaries.
It was like they conducted the primary election first, where the
But
members had to choose.
But you won't vote in that primaries. You won't now.
But we had the chance to choose, like, okay, we wanted this candidate.
Are you going to break this? Okay, if the party says they are using consensus, what is your choice going to mean? Doesn't mean anything now. See, joining a party is one part of it. You probably didn't hear what I said entirely. You need to join a party. You need to rise to delegate level. You need to work within the party so that you become you enter the party structure. You don't just join a party and be looking. It's not gonna work. Let me give you an example. If it's your religious organization, be it Christian, be it Muslim. See, when you join the church or mosque, you start, you become a worker, or you be helping the community, this thing, sweeping the mosque, keeping it clean, or sweeping the church, keeping it clean. You rise up now, isn't it? Then you start to have a say in church affairs or mosque affairs. True or false?
True, sir.
Then why do you think political parties are any different?
Okay, I think I'm
Okay, thank you very much. Now you get what I'm saying. Thank you very much, Janef. Okay then.
Okay, Victoria. Victoria.
Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
My name is Victoria Saga.
Okay.
So, from my perspective, I want to ask, since we are considering psychological factors that affect politics and political decision in the country, do you think godfatherism is a major psychological factor to consider as well?
Okay. I've said this thing multiple in multiple classes, but Victoria, I'm going to do it again here. Victoria, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Victoria, what do you do? Let me ask you a question. What do you do?
Okay, I work remotely. I'm a freelancer.
Okay, you're a freelancer.
Yeah.
Okay. But what do you do? Coding or IT in
Data
general, right?
management. Yeah.
You said
Data management.
data management. Don't you
Yes.
have somebody you look up to in data management that you look up to as a guru and you want to be like, and you know helps you with advice
I
and
do.
etc.
I
Oh,
do.
you do? Oh,
Yes.
okay. Why shouldn't you have that in politics too?
Because I want to believe.
Slow
Okay.
down before you answer this question. Be very careful before you answer this question. Why don't you think you should have that in politics too?
It's equally important to have that in politics as well.
Yeah, so Godfatherism, as we call it in Nigeria, is not
Yeah.
necessarily a bad thing. You have it in law, you have it in with doctors, you have it with mechanics. You have somebody. You're always looking up to somebody. You don't understand that. Now, Godfatherism isn't necessarily the bad thing. Bad thing is we just do not have good politicians or people who care or put Nigeria first. That's another different conversation. So everybody was raised by somebody now. Do you get? So everybody was
Yeah.
raised by somebody. Yaradua raised Atiku and Tinubu. Do you understand? Everybody was raised by somebody. You don't just appear in politics. I'll tell you, you know who brought me to politics? I'll be honest, and who helped guide me before I started flying. It was Professor Remy Shonaya. Everybody was brought in by somebody. Do you understand? Everybody was, and the person started working under the person, and then started learning the ropes, and then learned to fly. So Professor Remy Shonaya brought me to politics. Still today, there are things that will happen. I'll just pick up the phone. Oh, mommy, how far, how far, how far? Talk, 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 talk. And you get
Yes,
till
sir.
now. And then I've grown to have more people around me. Frank Weke Jr., Professor Bola Akinyemi, who was even a Minister of Foreign Affairs when I was in primary school. And, I have a lot of people around me. And I run conversations with them. And, they get Akin Braithwaite. There are a lot of people. And I sit down with them and, we advise I learn from them. So politics is not any different. It's not any
Because
different.
okay, the reason I brought this up is when the interplay of godfatherism is in the negative, especially in our country, Nigeria. Okay,
Who said it's in the negative always?
I want to give a real life scenario example. I recently was a member of the electoral body in conducting the 2025 National Youth Council of Nigeria elections, Cross River State Chapter, and I happened to be the electoral member. And godfatherism was in hot play because people at the top wanted specific candidates, irrespective of the fact whether they were, capable and
What's the name
qualified.
what's the name of your former head? Dan Obu, or what's his name? Something Obu.
Yes.
Oh, you're surprised I know your state that well.
I won't be surprised as a political juggernaut that you are, sir.
I'm not a juggernaut, I beg, stop that.
So in real life scenarios like this, that's why I'm asking, because in Nigeria they tend to overstep their boundaries as godfathers, and they are almost acting up more than the people in the position. They remote control most of the activities the leaders they have put there are supposed to take charge of. So that's why I'm asking, could it be considered also a psychological factor that affects people reasoning when it comes to voting and
Yeah,
election?
of course it is. Yeah, of course it is.
All right.
So even when the so-called mentors are bad people, you should be able to have a choice as a mentee. Anything as a mentee that you do not have a choice and your godfather supersedes over you, then that's no longer a godfather or a mentor-mentee relationship. That is a Fubara Wike situation. Or
Thank you
to
very
put it better, to bring it home to your own seat, that is a what they call it, Laelimoke and Ayade situation.
I see. So you're well
Thank you.
grounded. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
All right, sir.
Okay,
Okay.
Oyola. Oyola.
Ola. Okay, it's off.
He has gone off. So Joseph Adewale.
All right. Thank you, D. I really appreciate, and then just give kudos to your submission so far, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So my question is, with regards to the psychological effects of how some things really turn out with our politics, I want to ask a question with regards to the weaponization of poverty by the Nigeria's political class in such a way that that in itself is a manipulative tendency of shrinking citizens to a short-term thinking. And I do I mean? For instance, a country like Nigeria that has really thrown over 70% of its population into multidimensional poverty. At any point in time, there's a presidential election. People are always looking for a candidate that is going to solve their immediate problem. And that in itself is a short-term thing. And that's why the other time when you were speaking, you said categorically that how many of us can really talk about the position of some of our presidential candidates when it comes to non-alignment movement or something like that. Because foreign policy in its sense is not something they are really bringing to the front burner, going to what's obtainable in Nigeria. So the weaponization of poverty in itself, how does it really affect the psychological parts of that? Because it's more what the political class are doing than more of what the citizen itself are responding to. Thank you very much, sir.
Wait, I want you to remain. Hello?
I can hear you, sir.
Okay. So here's the conversation. You believe there's a weaponization of poverty, right?
Definitely, sir. Definitely.
You believe there's a weaponization of poverty?
Yes.
You've been psychologically managed to believe that. Now I'm going to tell you, it's not weaponization of poverty. Nigeria is poor.
Okay, if Nigeria is poor, then we wouldn't be saying the bogus spending of government to really procure some of their spending.
When I mean Nigeria is poor, Nigeria is not rich enough to allow things happen. And this is not because we are not rich enough. I need you to understand what I'm saying. What I'm indirectly saying is that I'm telling you, because of those excessive spendings, we are not rich enough to take care of the minimal things. But nobody weaponized poverty against you. They just told you that they've weaponized poverty against you. Guess what the result is? The result psychologically response for the people is to vote someone that is talking about food or collect semu or whatever. When the people still have their own particular choice and do not negate the free choice, which is guaranteed to poor and rich, to decide to vote out those guys. But you've chosen not to decide. You've chosen to work with them. Some collect a little money, delegates collect a little dollars. You've chosen to be around them. That is when you tell me weaponize poverty. They can't think, must fire upon you. I always tell people that Nigeria is not yet under pressure. When we are under pressure, we will vote out bad governance. We're not yet under governance by pressure. And I'll also tell you something psychologically about Nigerians. Nigerians don't want to alter the status quo. And I'll tell you why. We don't want to alter the status quo because one day, as me and Lisa have been trekking this world of electoral college, one day, maybe Lisa's husband will become governor. to handle all the contracts because at least I don't do TT. So Nigeria, and take this critically, I understand this. Nigeria is a buffet of corruption. Everybody is just waiting for their turn on the table. I've said this multiple times. Everybody is just waiting for their turn, which is why we tolerate the current system, or we don't want to vote out or bring in anybody that will rearrange anything. Let me tell you, the moment they bring in a Nigerian that wants things, or a president that wants things to work, and governors that want things to work, the first thing that will happen is that you cannot make they give you a 10 million naira contract and you are spending 8 million. It stops you. You're surprised that on a 10 million contract, you can only make 500K. On a 1 billion contract, you only make, let's say, 7 or 10 million. You can't make more than 25% of that contract. Are you ready for that kind of Nigeria? I don't think we are. We talk about it, but we're not. This is a country where they give you a contract of 1 billion and you're coming to give church 200 million. Which money are you using to do the job?
Oh.
So don't say anybody has weaponized poverty. If they weaponize poverty, does that stop your hand from moving to vote correctly? Why you give, and that's another psychological problem. We give politicians too much credit. I know them, they are just as scared as you. They think they are going to lose the election. Yes, they plan with some things, but they think they're going to lose elections. They're just as scared as you.
Okay, boss. Just like in furtherance to that, I also want to talk about the parts. Or let's just put it in basic reality, because I know, by and large, that you also agree with me talking about the section of Nigeria that is really witnessing the real poverty. In the sense, talk about the northern Nigeria, for example. It is very easy to even predict where their vote will go in certain, with regards to their political content.
Oh, wait.
And that is not.
Let me ask you one question. Have you lived in Wait, let me ask you one question because you just said something which I don't agree with. Let me ask you one question. Have you lived in northern Nigeria?
Yes, I lived in Kano at some point.
Okay, so why do you think it's easy to predict the way northern Nigeria will vote?
Because it can be disconnected from maybe their political culture. That's just the way anytime their leaders tell them what to do.
But why did you align that to poverty?
I want to align that to poverty because one is that in as much they
It's
don't
not
have
poverty.
the wherewithal,
It's
it is going to restrict their decision making.
I'll tell you. No, sorry, wrong. I'll tell you that I was born and raised in northern Nigeria, and I have a lot of friends. I've run in northern Nigeria. I present northern Nigeria, but here's the competition. It's not. I mentioned it earlier, and we spoke about it. I said feudalism. If you've studied feudalism, you understand it is a few people with power and land that control what the rest think. It has always been the way northern Nigeria has been structured. It's not a conversation of poverty. It's a conversation of this is where we are going. This is what's best for us. It's not a function of poverty. That's what I'm trying to correct. It's not a function of poverty. It's totally not a function of poverty.
Okay. Let me just put it in a general view then. Look, for instance, the issue of vote buying in Nigerian election. Why is it common? Because these people can able to come up with vote buying and then people will still subscribe to it despite the
Why are you saying, look, Oga, you can't blame one wing. The people collecting, okay. Let me tell you, if there is no market, there will be no goods sold. It's the same way Nigerians open mouth and say, this road has become a red light district. There are women everywhere. Hey, these women don't want to allow us. If men were not patronizing them, they won't be on that road. It's the same way with politics. You are complaining, vote buying. If you were not collecting money, nobody will buy your votes. So how can you just detach and blame one side? There are two parties guilty here. Politicians are interested in the game of power. That is the politician's MO. How he gets that power is only up to, and everybody in this class should learn this. How the politician gets that power is up to you to decide, not up to him. If he uses a mode, that's because you already have accepted it. If in Nigeria, from local government to presidential level, won't give you one vote, everybody will come to debate. everybody. Politicians are in the game of power. They are looking for power now. They will do what. But when you have told them, we dictate the method in which they approach us. You have dictated, you have said, I want money, I'm hungry. You will get that. The politicians can't offer you what you do not want. That's the truth. Anywhere in the world, it's only what you want that they would offer you. So as long as, so stop saying politicians, let's turn the story around, because it enables us to mortgage our responsibilities as citizens. Oh, so you wait, when is your religion? When they tell you that do this thing, you go to hell. You won't do it. But now, when it comes to politics, you'll be pointing finger at the other person. You that you're collecting, you're just as guilty. Let me explain something. In electoral college here, if you like, attend 3 classes. Do you understand? And think you can give the ED 1 million naira and he'll give you certificate. You will fail. But do you know why you will not offer the ED that? Because the ED is not collecting it. If to say I was collecting a gunja across cohorts, did you hear that girl? This is her 3rd time in the college. If you say I was collecting a gunja across cohorts, will you not give me? So
But,
it is
but because
no.
ED is a product of critical thinking. ED is
No,
different.
it's not. It's
ED
not
is
that I'm
well
a
grounded.
product of ethical. I'm more well grounded. Leave all that on. I just don't believe in some things. There's no difference, and we can all make that choice. It is not reserved for me alone. We all can make that choice. It's not a me thing. When we chose to do things for people, when we started the electoral college, we chose to make it free. We said we'll never charge 1 naira. We chose. It was our choice. You always have a choice. So, like I said,
All right,
politicians can only provide to you what you have asked for. If you say demand, if we say, okay, everybody running for legislature, if you're not presenting bills, get out of here. First election, they see that that's what happens. Only those that presented bills that won. The next election, 60 bills. You see people is encyclopedia, they'll come and chat GPT, they'll come and approach you for votes with. So the people demand what exactly the politicians come to them with. Nobody should blame the politicians. But because the truth is, any politician wants to win. And if that's what it takes to win, so that you would understand it, that's what you offer you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Oyola.
Oyola, you can unmute.
Iola, sorry.
Oyola.
Iola.
Hey, Oyola. Oyola, you've been asked to unmute.
Are you there? He's unmuted, so I don't know. Okay, please, if you're having a challenge, let's have Ephraim. Ephraim Haruna. Ephraim Haruna,
Okay,
I've asked
sorry,
you to
I'm in a
unmute.
very hello.
Ephraim Haruna.
Good evening. Sorry, I'm in a very noisy environment. I've been on.
Okay, so you can drop your question in the chat box. Let's have Daniel. Daniel, AC.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, you have muted yourself again.
Oh, thank you. Please, can I be heard now?
Yes, I can hear you. Daniel, you keep unmuting yourself.
Daniel has gone off.
Ephraim has dropped his.
Okay, so Stanley, which will be Stanley, Ambassador
The last
Stanley.
one.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ED.
Ambassador Stanley, you owe me a drink, or I'm still waiting.
I know, in fact, sir, you deserve more than a drink. You don't know what you're doing. Seriously, this social engineering is awesome. Some of us, I mean, that doesn't include me, but I have a lot of friends who have lost faith in this country, and it's quite instructive to see that we're actually re-engineering and refining citizens to say no. For me, it's very encouraging, and that's related to the question I really want to ask. You said something very critical, sir. I mean, there are some things one cannot say in a public space. But you've highlighted one very critical one, which is the fact that majority of Nigerians are waiting for their turn to steal. I mean, let's not romanticize it. So my question then is, if we know this fact, sir, what is the way out? What is the way forward? Because what you stated has been proven by research. It's not a hearsay. What is the way forward, sir?
Well, that would be making me feel like I'm a messiah and I have all the answers. But I think the only singular way forward is to build more Nigerians. You see, I've always said Nigeria has never had a Nigerian president. It doesn't mean the president doesn't come from Nigeria. His heart is not Nigerian. The closest I've seen to a Nigerian heart was Obasanjo. That's the closest. And when you have a Nigerian mind, you be so invested in doing things that would affect the nation, doing things that will build the nation. You'll be more gifted to the next generation. I always say I have two godfathers, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the next generation. Those are my two godfathers. As long as those two godfathers are not satisfied by anything, by what I'm doing, I wouldn't do anything. And that's how I've always tried to translate or transcend all or think in any way. So that's, if I didn't think it was possible, it would change. I've seen people reorient themselves. I've seen people parameters. Sometimes I see them doing things I can't even do. But yes, we can re-engineer Nigerians. They were engineered to become what. And because the truth is, if a Nigerian leaves this country, I can tell you that tribal sentiment will end in the next 4 years. It's simple now. The minister opens his mouth and says something about derogatory to Igbo or Yoruba, you jail your minister. Once you do that, everybody will calm down. Not arguments, just throw him inside jail. You don't even talk. You understand? By the time you've jailed some radio station presenters, you've jailed everybody will adjust. There once was a time that, and this is my agenda that is guilty of it. Agenda that is always peeing on the road. I remember a time during war against indiscipline. I was very young, but it was not allowed. You can't even think of peeing on the road. And that was because the government of the day made it impossible. They can't. But you adjust yourself. So I think we need to have a Nigerian president. I think we need to build a Nigerian community. I believe the Nigerian tribe is the most marginalized tribe in Nigeria. And then maybe we can fix things up. That's what I believe. Thanks, Ambassador.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very, very much. I truly, in fact, I'm awed and I'm inspired. That's the summary of all the discussion. Really, thank you. Thank you, sir.
So?
Okay. Thank you, Edie.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so Daniel, Giddy, should we take the last one?
Allow Daniel.
Okay. Daniel, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Sorry, I was having that struggle with my device earlier. Thank you for this class and for the college too. It has really done a lot personally for me. Let me just say this in passing. The college has encouraged me to actively join a party and be active in the party by the classes and by something. Yeah, something happened in my pseudo party, APC, where a lady was very active, and at the end we picked her as our candidate. That's in passing. Please, based on today's lecture, I want to ask, sir, since it has to do a bit with psychology, for a number of years we've been having this discourse, and I'm trying to do a research on it. Is there something fundamentally wrong with Negroids working as a team? that makes them not to excel? I don't know. For instance, you had things like Tammany Hall in New York, a corrupt group that held sway up to the 30s, 40s, but the people rose up and broke that hold. You had the pork barrel kind of elections in the UK. Somehow, there were reforms, it was broken. But for us, I don't know, as Negroes world over, even the ones in the US, who should be like our pillar, they are not excelling as a group, not individually.
Now the same,
The ones in South
now the same
Africa,
boss.
except like Rwanda that is making us smile. And like you just said, in response to the last question, whoever becomes president will still have a bit of positive despotic tendencies. I won't go into that question, but I just, and you said you spent like 2 years studying psychology. So, not that I'm trying to put us down, but is there something fundamentally flawed with Black people that makes us, when we come together as a team, it's like we do fulfillment of negative prophecy, or we self-sabotage along the line, even in the midst of abundance of opportunities? Thank you, sir.
Daniel, please remain on the call. Daniel.
Okay. Yes, sir.
This thing you brought up is supposed to be a
Yes.
class on its own. I'm going to sweep through it in seconds.
Thank you, sir.
Have you seen where you are producing gold and you are producing crude oil, and the price of crude oil and gold is dictated by somebody who is buying? Have you ever heard that before?
Not at all, sir.
No, you are
But of
laughing.
course, it's
But that's
happening.
what's going on. But
Yes,
meanwhile,
sir.
they will now refine the gold and bracelets, and then refine fuel and diesel and whatever. Here's the funny conversation. Do we dictate the price of their products?
No, sir. Not at all.
So somebody that doesn't have cocoa is dictating price of cocoa. Somebody that doesn't have gold is dictating price of gold. I want to just show you how stupid the black race is. Somebody that doesn't have anything is dictating the price of. So it's highly stupid. And it's Africa all over. It is so bad, and it is so funny to pay attention to, that we are the most self-absorbed people. Now, let me give you an example. How come Bill Gates is giving so much to malaria and HIV? He has money, he has people in America, but yet he's the one giving money to HIV. Where is the Uncle Dangote and Otedola on that matter? We are watching their daughters get married in, okay, not Dangote at least, but we're watching Otedola's daughter get married in. Where again? Even though people went there to get married, man, I don't have money. That's what it means to. Because, man, goddamn. They say it has a unique set of churches. It has the most unique traditional set of churches in the world. You didn't even know that. That's because my money no reach there now. Well, what else are we good at? Show off, Pop Daddy. The ones in America are not any different. Jay-Z, I don't need to tell you. All of them carry gold for neck. Meanwhile, their entire network, if you put Puffy, Jay-Z, Oprah, put all the black people that have money together, they don't reach one. I can't even call Jeff Bezos. They don't reach one Warren, not even Mark Zuckerberg, one. Their neck, gold, yachts, noise, cars. But you understand, black men also have a problem with followership. Black men do not think in the future. As much as I try not to think about it or try not to say, I always tell people, Nigeria is the most populous black nation in the world. If Nigeria fails, the entire black race has failed. So if you want the black race to succeed, get Nigeria right. Then the black race has succeeded. But then you now understand the bigger picture, that there are more forces that understand and attack the black race, that Nigeria can succeed. Nigeria doesn't yet understand it. I wish Nigerians do. Because if Nigerians knew the power Nigeria has in the world, you have 5.4% of the world's entire natural resources. You can't be begging anybody.
Yes, sir.
Human resource, 6th most populous nation in the world. Highly intelligent people, you have people that are coding, you have people all over. Harness this together and create a system. No. Okay, since you don't even want to move forward as Nigeria, do it for the rest of the black race. Like I said, Daniel, this is another class on its own. It's a topic that should be another class on its own.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we are just don't even know. We are poison to ourselves. That's just the truth. So thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Yes.
If we
Sir,
can really
please, can I
see.
make a request?
Yes,
Sir, can
go
I
ahead.
make a request?
Ah.
Sir, please, I want to seek permission to contact you personally in terms of mentorship and followership. Sorry, I can't do it on another platform.
Wait, let me explain something.
Private.
I'll
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you to contact me. But I'll tell you something.
Yes.
I don't think I'm a mentor. I always tell people I'm learning myself. So if you want to say, let's be discussing, I'm making mistake, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
But don't dash me mentorship position. I'm not good at it.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Edie. It's always nice doing this with you. And thank you for stretching our time to 7 p.m. Thank you to
didn't stretch your
everyone
time. I didn't stretch your
No,
time.
like
Your
you,
students
you
stretched your
allowed
time.
us to do that. You allowed us to do that,
Mm.
right? We ate into your time, right? So we're saying thank you for that. And to everyone who made it to class, thank you so much for making it to class. And again, please don't forget, the knowledge is not just for you. Try as much as possible to trickle it down, step it down to other people. Share with people, use your social media, let them know what you've learned. And in that way, if one can reach one, each one can teach one, right? So classes continue tomorrow. Let's make it to class on time and let's remind our party members that it's our
Say it,
election.
please. If one can reach one, each one to teach one.
Can teach
Hey,
one.
you've joined Chocolate City.
Okay,
This your
so
yas are
Edie,
too
calm
just
down now.
Chocolate City.
Edie, calm down. I remain your humble moderator. Lucas, please, let's do this again tomorrow. Good night, everyone. Good night,
Good
Edie.
night, everyone. Thank you. Good night.